Hey everybody, my name's Bobby. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thanks so much for spending part of your weekend with us, especially if you're new. Our vision, Oneness Revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. Our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Before we get started today, we want to give you a look at a few things coming up around Mile High Church for you and your family. Our annual meeting today is at 11:30. Get informed of relevant information about the current state and future plans for Mile High Church. And join the Mile High Choir for a rewarding musical and spiritual experience. We are looking for all voice parts, especially tenors. And the audition process is simple and low stress. And I might add, the choir is a great way to get connected to community here.
The inner child refers to a person's childlike aspect that resides within the subconscious mind. This aspect encompasses the emotions, memories, and experiences from childhood. If you're feeling trapped or frustrated in any area of your life, your inner child most likely needs some attention. Difficulties in employment, parenting challenges, finding and maintaining love, developing deeper relationships, or establishing boundaries can all be signs of stuck points. The Inner Child Journey Workshop with Michelle Medrano and Raz Smith offers an opportunity for you to connect with and nurture the child within. You will learn how to be free of limiting beliefs that you may have carried into adulthood and incorporate play into your life as a pathway to freedom.
For more information about anything you've heard today, stop by the event center or check us out online at milehighchurch.org. Especially tenors.
Yeah, Bobby. All right, well, thank you for coming. Guess what? We have an amazing band today. We've got Evan Wendt on guitar, Bijou Barbosa, we've got Josh Byers on drums, Rob Lowe, we have Manny Jasworska singing with us, and now we have all of you singing with us too. You guys ready? Here we go. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. The person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life. Oh, every creed and color. This should we unite. Oh, in honor of the God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Just lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of
Tom Litch, Mile High Band. What a plethora of stars. playing music for us today. Welcome to Mile High Church, everyone. We're so glad you're here. If you get any teaching from your time here at this church, it's hopefully the principle of oneness. We believe here that there's one life, and we all share it. It doesn't matter what religion or lack thereof you are. It doesn't matter where you're from or your cultural background. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. There's one life, and when we move beyond just knowing this theoretically, but can embody it, it can heal us, it can inspire us, it can help us to live better lives. And I'm so grateful to share in this realization of oneness with everyone here. And welcome home, Michelle Medrano. You've been on sabbatical for the last several weeks.
Yes.
Any insights to share with us?
Pray and meditate a lot. I think that's really, that's what we talk a lot about here, but it really comes down to that deep dive. Someone said into the well. So that's very rejuvenating. It's the best rejuvenation you could ever have, better than surgery and all that good stuff.
Oh, yes, yeah. Good. I like that.
And I'm very happy to be back, and welcome. Thank you to this beautiful community and to Josh and my co-ministers and staff that supported me to have this time away. It really was a very special and sacred time for me, and I thank you, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all and hugging a lot. And I look forward today to getting to, during this welcome, hear us all recite our vision and mission together. You might have heard it in the announcements. We're going to say it because we truly believe in the power of the word. So I invite you to enthusiastically join me as we read together. First of all, our vision.
Oneness revealed. A world of love, peace, and abundance for all.
And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Very good.
I love it. It's our PRAC Recognition Month. We're so grateful for our practitioners. Let's hear it for them. We have a beautiful prayer from one of our outreach practitioners. I'll tell you more about those later. Lorelei Matisse today, so grateful for them, and to Steve and Mary Beth, who are going to be doing our readings today. And with that, let's take a deep collective breath as we join in communal spiritual practice with a little bit of song, a little bit of silence, and a whole lot of prayer.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And we take this collective breath, anchoring us into this beautiful present moment where we fully embrace and allow the God as us, for us, through us, to move in, as, and for us, eternally, forever. Taking in that collective breath one more time, and we really allow ourselves to be open, available. Tapping into that oneness that we are, that love that we are, that we were birthed in, bathed in, and fully walk in every moment. For it is that essence of God, of love, that is right here, right now for us. Allow this to just be. And I know that in this space, we recognize that God, that love in each and every one that we encounter, beautifully, delicately, being seen, being heard. For that is how God sees us in every moment, through the eyes of one another. For it is that sense of community that we are here. It is that love that we hear in the message today. We are open, we are available, we are seen, and we are known. So I allow this just to be, knowing that as we take this message out into the world, we do it with love, and it ripples, touches each and every one that we encounter. And so I let go, allowing God to be God, allowing the prayer to be answered, knowing it is done. And so it is.
I used to stare at the stars, wonder just how far away they are, and how I could see them from here. Look at the ocean side, how it goes on for miles and miles, and yet somewhere it ends. What are the answers? I don't know. The questions become smaller when your love lifts me up, and now I know all I need to know, and now I feel all there is to feel, and in your arms the mysteries of life are told. Knowing love is all there really is to know. One man struggling to get by, another man living like a king, and each will find their truth. One day I'm broken hearted, the next day I can't do anything that I want to do. So many things are better left misunderstood, but it doesn't matter, just as long as I feel you. And now I know all there is to know, to know.
Inspirational words today from Howard Thurman. Whatever may be the tensions and stresses of a particular day, there is always lurking close at hand the trailing beauty of forgotten joy and unremembered peace.
And from the founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, if you will take time daily to sense the presence of life within you, to believe it, to accept it, it will not be long before the life which you have known will gradually disappear and something new will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect you. You will pass from death into life, from lack and want into greater freedom, and from fear into faith. From a sense of being alone, you will pass into a realization of oneness with everything, and you will rejoice in the oneness.
Hear me takes just a little while.
Maddie Jazwerska, everyone. Thank you so much, Maddie. Evan Wendt, Bijou Barbosa, Mr. Josh Byers, Rob Lowe, and our incredible music director, Tom Litch. Thanks for organizing this for us today, Tom. Thank you, Lorelei, for that beautiful prayer. Thank you, Steve and Mary Beth. Thank you for being here today. I mentioned at the top of the service that we have in Mile High Church what we call outreach practitioners. In short, these are practitioners that move away that we don't let leave the church. But they're incredible practitioners who serve and bring the message of Mile High with them to all sorts of places. I can't name all of them today, but I'm going to name where they're from. Lorelei is from Florida. We have outreach practitioners in Texas, Maryland, Hawaii, Blanca, Colorado, Indiana, Vancouver, Canada, Keystone, California, Pennsylvania, Maine, Edmonton, Canada, Montana, Ecuador, Arizona, Washington, and Colorado Springs. Thank you to all of our outreach practitioners and for all that you do for us. For those of you who have kids, how many of you had that experience where they participated in an activity or a sport or went to the same elementary school that you did, something that you participated in? How many of us? You know, for me, with our son, that was Little League Baseball. And so after 20-some years, it was something else to sit on those bleachers and to be in that environment again. And the first thing I noticed is that there were things I wanted to remember that I could not. When I thought about my Little League years, I realized that what I remember were my big wins and my big losses. I remember hitting the single into right field, scoring the winning run and winning the game. And I remember striking out to end the game. I remember catching the last out on a line drive. And I remember being down one run and trying to go into second base and getting thrown out. It was a bad call. But sitting there watching my son play, what I wanted to remember was something different. I wanted to remember the name of that kid that played next to me in the outfield. What was his name? I wanted to remember the faces of my coaches and the words of encouragement they gave me. I wanted to remember the feeling of smelling the grass and having that uniform touch my skin. But I couldn't. And I began to grow sadder. I'm still watching the game, by the way. I grew sadder because I realized I remember my life in the same way. What I remember and what I emphasize is all my successes and all my failures. And what I realized in that moment, and still struggle to realize today, is I don't care about those. What I want to remember is the good time I had with friends. I want to remember the content of conversations I had with my father. I want to remember what it was like to read a book under soft sunlight. And I couldn't remember. I was struggling. And I realized I don't want to remember my life based on successes and failures. I want to remember my life based upon the quality of my relationships and the depth of my experiences. How about you? How about you? I don't want to remember my life based upon the successes and the failures, but on the quality of relationships and the depth of my experiences. When we change our emphasis, we begin to realize that that which we've been searching for all of our lives may just have been there all along. I have a theory, and it involves you. So listen up, see if it sounds true. The theory is that your life is the greatest story ever told. Your life is the greatest story ever told. Charlie Kaufman, great screenwriter, alluded to the idea that there are 7 billion people in this world, not one of them an extra. Every single one the lead in their own story. And if this doesn't resonate, if this doesn't sound true, my challenge to you is that you're not reading it right. The story of your life is more complex than Leo Tolstoy could muster. There's more drama in it than Shakespeare. There's more romance in your life than it has ever been on a novel with Fabio on the cover. That's how valuable you are. That's how interesting your life is. All those depths of quality of relationships and depths of experience. All that being said, our lives aren't really like novels, movies, TV shows, TikToks, video games. All of these have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The truth is that when it comes to the life of your soul, life is not a straight line. It's a spiral. It's a spiral with the truth of who you are, the wholeness of your being, always dead heart in the center. And our choices and our activities either draw us closer to that wholeness or further away. But it's always calling us back there. Our lives are not defined by history, but by moments of epiphany, moments of realization, moments of true connection that when they really connect and you're living your soul's life, they exist in eternity. When I think about this concept, I can't help but think of the late, great Gilda Radner. One of the not ready for primetime players, the original cast of Saturday Night Live, the embodiment of pure charisma, grace, tenacity, and unconditioned joy. And early in her life, she was diagnosed with cancer. She beat it, it came back, and it killed her. And she had a counselor by the name of Joanna Bowl, who was deeply meaningful to her in her time, who taught her the deep and important concept of ambiguity, living in the midst of uncertainty and ambiguity. And Radner would share, "I wanted a perfect ending. Now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next." Delicious ambiguity. Reminds me of the words of Shel Silverstein, who I'll talk a little bit more later. He says, "There are no happy endings. Endings are the saddest part. So just give me a happy middle and a very happy start." I have another theory involving you. The story you tell yourself today, you will try to prove to yourself tomorrow. The story you tell yourself today, you will try to prove to yourself tomorrow. Are you sure the story you're telling yourself is the true story? Are you sure the story you're telling yourself is the true story? Thought experiment. Imagine your whole life you've kept 2 journals. In one journal, you write things down as they actually happened. In the other journal, you get to write down things as you wish they would have happened. Oh boy. There are a few loves that got away that might have some larger parts in there. I would have gotten that job I didn't get. Might be much more the man I always wanted to be. Here's the thing to think about. At what point in writing in this journal the things that you would have liked to have happened, do you start to look back at that journal filled with the way things did work out and either want that more or start needing to integrate little pieces? These big losses, these negative experiences that sometimes leave a hole in our heart. I'm not saying they're positive. I'm not saying be grateful for them. But did you need them, in a sense, to become who you are? Carl Jung alluded to the idea that I am not what happens to me, I am who I choose to become. Aldous Huxley said, experience is not what happened to you, it's what you do with what happened to you. All of this goes to show that perhaps it's not our job to tell our story, but to live it. To live our stories with a greater trust and willingness to listen to and live God's story in our lives. What is the story of the divine in your life? It's not a beginning, it's not a middle, it's not an end, it's not what I like to call a begending. Life is full of those. It's about those moments of realization. It's about those moments of connection. It's about those moments of deep experience. And with a little change of perspective, a little change of emphasis, you can realize that the very meaning you've been looking for your whole life, it's been there all along. It's been there all along. To regain, to experience the life of our soul, two tools in which to utilize, I want to share with you today. The first, perspective. A little bit of perspective. And the second is emphasis. Emphasis. If we can work on these two things, we can unearth what we have forgotten. Rick Polito, great author of books, lives in Boulder, Colorado. He's most famous because he used to write TV guide ads for movies that were coming on. His most famous is for The Wizard of Oz, and it goes like this. Transported to a surreal landscape, a young girl kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again. Total aside, it's Easter 2020, my first opportunity to share with you the Easter message, and my ministerial dreams come true because I walk out here and there's not a single congregant in the sanctuary. The nightmare, that fear. But there were thousands of people watching online. It was a really powerful day. And I shared this quote from Rick Polito, and I get back to my computer and there's an email, and guess who it's from? Rick Polito. Saying nobody ever gives me credit for that quote. Thank you very much. So thank you, Rick. Just for fun, I'd like to share a few of his others. You up for a little pop quiz today? Let's see if you can guess the movie. Talking lion befriends a warthog and avenges father's death. Oh, very good. Boy left to fend off robbers after parents abandon him. This one's harder. Orphan boy hangs around with convicted mass murderer while a rat plots his death. No whammy, no whammy. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. You want to keep going? An eccentric nanny hired by a wealthy family subjects the children to a series of psychedelic experiences and cult-like character-building exercise. Just a spoonful of sugar? Okay, last one. A federal agent in Chicago hampers the work of an enterprising American job creator. You got it. Untouchables. Very good, very good. You win the prize. A little change in perspective. Some of you know this, but I lost my dad. I lost my dad last weekend. I loved him. And feels like a hand came out of the universe and just took them away, breaking our hearts. But that's just one perspective. Valid, true, just one perspective. I was talking to my dad after he died. I don't do that kind of thing, but I could hear him. I could hear his voice. Josh, move on with your life. I said, Dad, I'll let you go, but only if I can experience your presence everywhere. The manner of my dad's death was a shock. The fact of his dying? No. That principle that we call death was with him his entire life. He was only 73, but as he was growing older, it was something that was always present in each conversation. In the same way, now that he is dead, the fact of his life, the very principle of life, is very much true and present and as real as anything. I wrote my dad a letter. Our relationship isn't over, Dad. This is not the end of our relationship, and my commitment is to build a renewed relationship with you. I want to understand who you are better. I want to know more about your history. I want to know what you really thought of John Lennon's solo career and canon. And so I'll listen, and I'll grieve, and I'll love. Perspective. That's what this teaching offers us. Perhaps more than anything else, the ability to see, to live in multiple realities at the same time. It's about perspective, and it's about emphasis. Maybe it's not true that your mom didn't love you. Maybe it's true that she didn't have the tools to know how. Maybe it's true that you and your loved one grew further and further apart. But maybe the truth is you just didn't have the tools to grow closer and closer together at the time. Maybe it's true that you lost a great opportunity. But maybe it's true that you needed that loss to find your way and become who you are. It's about perspective, and it's about emphasis. Anyone here ever feel incomplete? Do you ever feel like something's missing in your life? That you've spent your whole life with a missing piece, trying to find what's going to make you whole? Shel Silverstein, the great children's author, probably most famous for The Giving Tree, he wrote a book called The Missing Piece. It's about a little circle that loves to roll around and loves to sing a little song. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece, hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece, hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. And he sings that song and rolls around and finds the piece that almost fits and something else that almost fits in there until finally the perfect triangle reveals itself. And the little circle is made whole. And it can roll so fast and it can do so many things except for one thing. Oh, I'm up to find my missing piece, my missing piece. Hidey-ho, here I go, I'm up to find my missing piece. So what's the little circle have to do? Has to ditch the triangle. And it continues along, singing, oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. Hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. Our holes don't break us. They bring us forward. It's the empty places, as painful as the means, that created those broken places in us they're how we sing. They're how we grow. They're how we find our voice. They're how we embody who we are. But with a little bit of emphasis, you can realize nothing is missing. It's been there all along. Keep singing your song. Joseph Campbell said something I liked. A friend gave me a list of things that let you know you are old. Some of them are silly, others are serious. One is when you sink your teeth into a juicy steak and they stay there. Another is when your back goes out more often than you do. The real serious one is when you've gotten to the top of the ladder and find it's against the wrong wall. That's where so many people are. It's dreadful. And to descend the whole ladder and start up another, forget the ladder and just wander. Bump around. Looking back at my life, I wouldn't change a thing. A few years ago, I may have told you I would change every little thing. But looking back at my life, I wouldn't change a thing, but I sure as hell would emphasize differently. I would emphasize differently. That's where my work is. To move from measuring myself and remembering who I am based on successes and failures to measuring and knowing who I am based upon the quality of my relationships and the depth of my experiences. I have to move from measuring myself by who I loved to realizing myself by emphasizing who loved me. To move from measuring myself based on where I got to go to embody truly where I am. Can I be right here? A little change in emphasis can begin to change anything and everything. Few weeks of watching my son play Little League Baseball. I remember Nick. That's that kid's name that I played in the outfield with, Nick. Oh, that's the way my coach smiled. I remember when he complimented me. Oh, yes, the way that uniform felt on my skin, breathing the grass through my nose. Oh, it's been there. It's been there all along. Moving into prayer today, invite any of our prayer practitioners to stand and join us. These incredible people are there to help you remember that it's been there all along with a prayer after service on our stage, or email us. And just remembering those words from the Holy Bible. Know as you are known. Know as you are known by a holy presence, by a divine power that holds you, that knows who you are, perhaps even better than you know yourself, that knew the whole of your words before you even began to speak, that knitted you together in your mother's womb, that knows each and every story of your heart like the hairs of your head. This presence so near, it speaks to us if we listen, not in wild prophecies, but in sacred memory and sacred time. It speaks to us not through the voice of history, but through the voice of the eternal, that eternal place where the quality of our connections and the depth of our experiences, those things which are truly real, exist always at the level of our soul. To live a life of soul is not to live a life of rose-colored glasses nor naivete. It's to live your true life. It's to know what's really real, what really matters, those qualities of being that bring us to tears and to laughter, to song and to silence, to where we are, right here and right now. God, may you tell me the story of my life, and I promise you to live it each and every day. Knowing this life, it brings forth healing, forgiveness, connection, and an unconditioned joy that nothing can ever tear asunder. Embodying this joy, we move into the altar of our heart and make offerings of choices, actions, connections. We make offerings at the altar of our heart for the beauty of life, and it sings, and we sing with it, and we share this one life. Living you, living me, let it be. So it is.
Now I know all there is to know, and now I feel all there is to feel, and in your arms the mysteries of life are told. Knowing love is all there really is to know.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, I don't know how the hell I got through that one,
I don't
Michelle, but I
either.
did.
You did very well. Beautiful message, Josh. Thank you. Very well. And he cares so much for us. We promised to care for him during this time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much for your love and care of us all. And we get a chance now to love and care upon some of our Board of Trustees members. It is our shift of leadership for the board. We have 9 trustees who volunteer to serve. They do that for 3 years. And every year, 3 of them go off and 3 of them come on. So we want to first acknowledge and celebrate that we have 3 trustees who have served us faithfully and joyfully for 3 years now, and they've completed that time. We have certificates for them that Josh is going to give them as they come forward. I'd ask you to hold your applause until we get them all up here. I'm going to firstly bring up Barb Granitza to come forth. She has served as the vice president of our board. She also teaches here in our community. This is the thing about these folks. They're not only active on the board, they're active in our church. She teaches the the Tai Chi and Qigong classes. She's involved with our Sacred Sisters. She's very active. She's very enthusiastic, always bringing creativity and ideas to our board of trustees. So thank you for your 3 years of service. Next is Mr. Jim Weiss, who also serves as an usher here, as a lead usher, has been very active in our community and very much a part of our board, bringing his beautiful wisdom and heart to all of our deliberations and all of the decisions that we make as a board of trustees. Wonderful job. Thank you so much, Jim. And Christine Renee Monks, who also serves in many capacities in our community. She has served primarily on our board, on our finance committee, which, as you can imagine, these last 3 years financially have brought lots of things we've had to discuss and deal with on the finance committee for our church. She also is a practitioner and just recently graduated from our ministerial training. So she is very active in our church and in the world, and serves at the international level at our Centers for Spiritual Living. on the Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee. So we thank the three of you for your beautiful service, your consciousness, for all that you've brought to us and how you've loved and served Mile High Church. You truly have done that very, very well. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. And this service, you get to take your certificates home with you. Yes, very well. I just want to briefly acknowledge those on our board who remain on the board. We have our president, Steve Drury, will remain on the board, and our secretary has been Kim Bent. And if you're here, any of you who are here, please stand so I can name you all off. Kevin Rubel has served as our treasurer. And we also have outreach board members, just like our outreach prayer practitioners. So Kumar Dandavanti has served on the board from Hawaii. Sylvia Schroeder has served she's in Washington State, right? And then we have Al Dietz from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And so the three of them serve also. So those are our trustees. Let's acknowledge our board of trustees for their wonderful leadership. And today, right after this service at 11:30 over in the Vote Auditorium, if you'd like to be part of helping us usher in the next three trustees, you can be there, learn about our community financially, hear some reports from Josh and myself, and if you're a member of the community, you get to vote on the next three trustees. So, wonderful. We'll see you at the annual meeting.
And with that, it would be amiss of your lead ministers if we didn't ask you for money. You don't. Yeah, come on. Well, you don't have to give us money, but if it makes you feel good, you could give us $1 million.
I was so excited about the annual meeting. Aren't you excited? I could see there's going to be singing and dancing. You're going to do a tap dance, and I'm going to sing a song. No, you sang a song today. You already sang. So, we do want to thank you for those of you who have been around for a while. You recognize and can honor with us that the majority of income that comes into our Mile High Fund comes from the majority of you as gifts that keep our community, our church, working and thriving. And we thank you for that. And we today would like to invite you once again to please continue to give to our community, to share your good. You can see all the ways that you can do that up on the screen. You can go to our website. You can text to give. We're so grateful for you. And before you give that gift, let's say an affirmation together. So please say along with us. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going on in the world and those who lead it. It just feels like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. That's why we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. We'll keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's not that we don't care, we just know that the fight ain't fair. That's why we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. Now if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas. No more ribbons on the door. But when you trust the television, what you get is what you got. 'Cause when they own the information, oh, they can bend it all they want. That's why we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. We'll keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when you're standing at a distance. So keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Come on.
Strong band. Thank you so much. Evan, Maddie, thanks for taking all the time you took to be here today. We so appreciate you. It adds so much to the service to have you here. Thank you so much. If you're new to Mile High Church, this is the best church in the world. We have a welcome center. You can meet. You know why it's the best church? Because it's people. Because of you. I can't get up here and talk. I had to get up here and talk about my dad because you inspire me. You come here in triumph. You come here in loss, deep loss. And you're an example for me. We never put down the spiritual life. And when we're here together, it's medicine for our souls. It uplifts us and it helps us live thriving life. So thank you for making Mile High Church the place that it is. And if you're new, welcome. Here are our beautiful practitioners here to provide prayer. 5 p.m. tonight is our Healing Light service. You can walk the labyrinth beforehand. So grateful for the healing ministry that puts that on. Saturday, we have these things called healing intention circles. If you're working on healing or healing for a loved one, this is an awesome communal, non-creepy experience that is uplifting and so powerful. Thanks, Reverend Kay, for your vision bringing this forward. If you're interested in how you become one of these practitioner folks, first of all, you are practitioners, but you're interested in greater learning and a licensing process, Reverend Jackie and I will be talking about that after services next week on Zoom or in person. So we're looking forward to that. Wisdom Keepers Picnic coming up on August 23rd. This is a group for 55 plus. They're having their picnic, and then pretty soon they'll resume their monthly meetings here. It's lunch, it's hanging out, it's great. It's a wonderful experience. There's Dr. Patty, our incredible leader. We're looking forward to another great year of Wisdom Keepers. Again, annual meeting coming up right after this. I'll be there as soon as I can. If you'd like, stand up. Let's say a benediction together. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, my body, and all that I do. I give thanks for it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life.